Pentiment is the latest game from Obsidian, a company of some repute. They're known for RPGs, but those RPGs are rarely the same, or even, to be honest, similar in a lot of cases. So much so that when an Obsidian game is announced, you don't necessarily know what you're going to get, apart from the fact that RPG mechanics will likely be involved somewhere. The last thing you could call them is a company that reskins the same game over and over again. I can't imagine who I'm thinking of there. Even though I didn't know what to expect from Obsidian, I certainly didn't imagine it'd be this. A cross between a visual novel and a murder mystery set in medieval Germany. Gone are the fantasy elements and stats and combat systems. Instead, we have a really quite delightful adventure with fantastic characters and an incredibly appealing style. That style is what I want to talk about first. Everything looks like it was drawn or written back in medieval times, even down to the speech bubbles and the way the writing pops in on them, complete with correcting the spelling mistakes. The art itself looks very close to the art of the day, with the little gusts of wind that appear throughout, only helping to evoke that imagery further. Plus, everything is displayed in the game as if it were part of a book, something that's very in keeping with both the game's themes. The protagonist is an artist who illustrates books and copies them down, as printing presses weren't exactly rife back then. It's strange to think of a time when even the most basic of information, i.e. books, were only really available to the rich and powerful, but that's one of the ways the setting makes you think. The book theme also fits the style of the game itself, which is definitely more visual novel than traditional RPG. If you're here for the next Obsidian RPG with deep mechanics, this ain't it. There's basically no RPG here, apart from what's in your head as you decide how to play this character. But if you're here for a great story where your choices actually do something, then this could be the game for you. For example, in the first act you play a very big part in solving a murder, and the fact is, even when you present the evidence, you are not 100% sure they did it. There are a few people who have compelling evidence against them, and as it's the 1500s, you can't exactly go all CSI on it. Suffice to say that when the person is caught, there's a profound effect on the town and its people. Due to the nature of this game, I can't really go much more into it without spoiling things. There aren't any detailed mechanics to go into. In fact, the only real game mechanics at play here are some puzzles and choices of where you've been, what you've been to university for example. The rest is just moving around in dialogue trees. But it's the atmosphere and the characters that pulls you in. And pull you in it does. And bear in mind this is coming from someone who's not big on visual novels. Even ones with deep systems, like I'm the one person in the world who bounced off Disco Elysium. So is it good for the short of time gamer? Well, yes, to a certain extent. The game saves often, in fact, pretty much whenever you do anything, but it doesn't save partway through conversations. These can take a few minutes, not anything like Yakuza series levels of time, and oh yes, I'll be getting to them in the future. So if you need to pop off for an emergency, you might lose a bit of progress. However, when you quit, it does show you how long it's been since the game saved, so that's a nice quality of life feature. It's really interesting to see a studio like Obsidian try its hand at the visual novel genre, and it's even nicer seeing it succeed like this. If you like visual novels and have any interest in the medieval period or even old Christian theology, you're gonna lap this up. If you can't stand reading walls of text, then this ain't gonna work for you. Until next time.